Every Ninja Gaiden game has been distinct, but they've always stayed true to a couple of key principles. Extremely fast action, aggressive enemies, a huge focus on mobility, and chargeable ultimate techniques that launch into lengthy and invulnerable combos. Ninja Gaiden 4 is no different, basing the core of its combat around what was done in Ninja Gaiden 2, but evolving it in a number of different ways that make it feel distinct from any Ninja Gaiden game before it. If you want to get into the nitty-gritty of what's new in Ninja Gaiden 4, well, you're in the right place. Let's hit that title card and dive right into it. The most obvious change this time around is that longtime series protagonist Ryu Hayabusa is not at the forefront of Ninja Gaiden 4. He is still playable in a handful of story missions near the end of the campaign, and once you beat the game you can go back through any level and play as him, but Ninja Gaiden 4 is all about the newcomer, Yakumo. Fundamentally, he plays almost identically to Ryu, but with a couple of new tricks that we'll go over in just a bit. One of the more unique elements of prior Ninja Gaidens was that if you held forward while attacking, you'd do a different move than if you were just standing still, giving you very different combo routes for each weapon on the light attack button. Ninja Gaiden 4 gets rid of this additional nuance and makes it so that there's only one light attack combo starter regardless of the direction held on the left stick. The big wrinkle to the core combat of Ninja Gaiden 4 is the addition of a secondary form, accessible by holding down the left trigger before pressing an attack button. For Yakumo, this is the Blood Raven form, and for Ryu, it's his Gleam form. These forms allow you to break through an enemy's armor, interrupt their own unblockable attacks, and just be able to deal some big damage with slower, flashier strikes. While Blood Raven form has a transformative effect on Yakumo's weapons, Ryu's Gleam form allows Ryu to use his iconic high-speed dashes, like repeated mini flying swallows, to hit and deal big damage to multiple enemies at once. Ninpo has historically been a kind of screen-clearing panic button that you could use whenever things got a little bit too crazy to give yourself some breathing room. When you're playing as Yakumo, you no longer have that option. Yakumo has no Ninpo moves at all. Ryu, on the other hand, does have them, only instead of performing it by pressing two buttons at the same time, now all you have to do is hold down the left trigger to activate his Gleam form, and then press the Shuriken button to perform whatever Ninpo you currently have selected. In previous Ninja Gaiden games, you'd choose a weapon to upgrade, and each upgrade would increase that weapon's power, in addition to also giving you access to new moves. That system has changed in Ninja Gaiden 4, so that now you just buy whatever techniques you want a la carte, somewhat similar to how the skill tree was handled in Ninja Gaiden 3. Except this time, instead of Karma, you use Ninja Coin to purchase universal upgrades that affect all weapons, like upgrades that empower your ultimate techniques, the Azuna Drop, Flying Swallow, and Guillotine Throw, but for weapon-specific upgrades, you'll spend Weapon EXP. Buying new weapon techniques can also be done at any point with the pause menu, while to purchase the core universal upgrades, you'll need to speak with Tyron by interacting with his red-eyed crow. To go along with the currency change, enemies no longer drop the yellow essence that traditionally has been used to upgrade weapons and buy items. Nor will they drop blue or red essence either, which used to restore a substantial amount of health or give you back a charge of Ninpo. They will, however, drop red orbs, which restore a very slight amount of health when you pick them up, and can of course also be used to instantly charge your ultimate techniques, once you get the upgrade that allows you to do so. Small orbs will charge at one level, while large orbs will instantly charge it to maximum. While you could quickly swap between weapons in a sub-menu in Ninja Gaiden 2 and 3, never before have you been able to hot swap between them without interrupting the flow of combat with just the quick press of a button. But in Ninja Gaiden 4, you can do exactly that. By pressing one of the directions on the D-pad, you will swap to that weapon immediately after the next attack that you input. This allows you to do fancy weapon swapping combos that extend the amount of time you're able to spend in the air, and just let you look sick as hell. This is a very slight, but nonetheless welcome quality of life change. In the first game, whenever you wanted to use a consumable, you had to do it through the pause menu. Ninja Gaiden 2 improved upon this by adding a sub-menu that you could bring up with the D-pad, but now using items is even faster thanks to a radial menu that you can pull up, move the stick to the item you want, and very quickly use it without completely stopping the flow of combat. While you're in the radial menu, time will slow down, but you can still get hit if you're not quick enough. One big departure is that the only ranged weapon you get to use in Ninja Gaiden 4 are shurikens, and those aren't even really meant to do damage to enemies from a distance. In prior games, there were a bunch of different ranged weapons you could get, from bows, to explosive kunai, even to spear guns that were only useful in the water. Fortunately, enemy encounters are designed around this limitation, and you'll never really have to deal with sniper enemies hitting you from a distance that you can't easily reach on foot. Speaking of easily reaching faraway enemies on foot, one major new addition to combat is the caddis wire, which allows you to zip yourself to grapple points super quickly, and while you're perched at one, you can even do an empowered flying swallow off the wall for some extra damage. It's a great way to escape a bad situation, quickly take out enemies that are hitting you with deadly ranged attacks, or even potentially just delimb or behead an enemy immediately. The original Ninja Gaiden 2 had Tests of Valor, which were intense challenge rooms hidden within certain levels that usually had some worthwhile reward tied to them. They were removed in Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 and subsequently Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, but in Ninja Gaiden 4, they're sort of back in a different form. Purgatory gates are optional challenge rooms with the twist of letting you decide how much health you want to go into them with. The greater your health handicap, the greater your reward. Since you no longer collect essence from killing enemies in Ninja Gaiden 4, there needs to be another way to gain currency. That method involves completing side missions. You pick up side missions at Umi's terminal, which usually involve killing X number of Y type of enemy, finding a number of hidden collectible monsters called Gordies, or sometimes they might have you defeating a hidden mini-boss down an optional path. Once you complete a mission, you can turn it back into Umi at a terminal to claim your reward. Two other new wrinkles to the combat in Ninja Gaiden 4 come in the form of the Berserk meter and bloodbath kills. The Berserk meter fills up as you deal damage, take damage, and execute delimbed enemies with obliteration techniques. Once it's full, you can activate it and be able to perform instant killing bloodbath kills by using certain charged attacks in your Blood Raven form. In one of the most Platinum-esque changes to the core gameplay of Ninja Gaiden 4, in between combat and platforming, are sections that have you traveling in style, whether by grinding rails, gliding through air currents, or surfing in the sewers. These aren't a huge change, but they're worth noting nonetheless as a new recurring type of gameplay that we haven't really seen before in the Ninja Gaiden series. Ninja Gaiden's difficulty modes traditionally have you locked into whatever difficulty you select at the start of the game, but Ninja Gaiden 4 allows you to change difficulty at any time, so long as you're not playing on Master Ninja. They also bring back Hero Mode, which was introduced in Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, as a way to ease new players into the game's steep learning curve by giving them auto guard and auto dodge for a limited amount of time when their health is low. This has been enhanced in Ninja Gaiden 4 by just giving you auto guard and auto dodge at all times, while also allowing you to do pretty substantial combos just by mashing the light attack button. One of the pain points of the previous Ninja Gaiden games, especially for players that were less experienced, was the fact that if you saved right before a tough fight and didn't restock yourself with healing items, you could put yourself in a position where you were just stuck on a difficult encounter without a way to restore your health. That problem is addressed in Ninja Gaiden 4, where if you die a certain number of times to a boss or otherwise challenging battle, you will be gifted with consumables so you can continue fighting without having to worry about restarting from an earlier checkpoint. They won't fill you up, and they won't give you free revives, but the health potions you get may be the extra edge you need to defeat a tough boss. And finally, Ninja Gaiden 4 adds a training mode to let you practice all of your fancy weapon switching combos, or give you a space to practice some of the new techniques that you may have learned. It's a great feature that I hope to see in virtually every action game with a deep combo system that allows you to flex your creative muscles when it comes to combat. And that's what's new in Ninja Gaiden 4. Thanks for watching, and for more Ninja Gaiden 4, make sure to check out our combat guide, along with the skills you should get first. And for everything else, keep it here on IGN.